anime conventions? Who has time for anime conventions? Certainly not me. I am a very busy person. I do a lot of work. I have animals to take care of. I can't be going away for 3-4 days wasting more money that I don't have. Do I look like I'm made of money? No, I'm not made of money, okay? I can't just drop everything and have a blast for a weekend and just forget about the real world and then go through depression after the event is over because, you know, not this person. No. And you know why I have no money? This is why I have no money. I have a problem. A big problem. And it's all about anime conventions. Yeah. Hey everybody, welcome back to another Tuesday here on the 5 Awesome Geeks. This week we are talking about our anime convention experience. Britt is the undisputed master of staffing conventions, but I am the queen of attending them. By doing research, I discovered that I went to 36 conventions. 36. That is insane. And if you look at those numbers, I went to 12 separate events multiple times. It's insane. It's absolutely insane how much time I have spent going to these conventions from 2007 to 2016. And that number just keeps on increasing because I love going to conventions. I go to at least one convention a year. Back in the day when I wasn't working, I went to 4 or 5 a year. Insane. I just spent the entire summer jumping from one convention to another and I loved it. Con fatigue and all. I loved it. So if you've never been to a convention, and yes, I'm talking to UK, get your butt to a convention. I know there are conventions in Texas. I know they're out there, so go to one. Even if it's one day, just go to a convention. Have a blast. I know you will, because they are so much fun. Because you get to meet people who have the same interests as you, who are just as geeky about this stuff as we are, and you'll just have a blast. And you'll make a lot of great memories. I'm telling you, it's a very good thing to do. Ask any of us. We've all been to conventions, and we all enjoy them, and we just keep on going back for more. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the experiences that I've had at conventions, some of my reactions to things, and all of that. So one thing I have learned throughout the course of my going to conventions is always be prepared, because you never know what's going to happen. So in 2008, it was my second year of going to my main conventions. I didn't do that. I didn't pay attention to the weather report, and we were at a location where all the different spots that were associated with the event were like a mile apart from each other. And one time we were coming out of the convention center, my friends and I, we were dressed from head to toe in cosplay, wigs and everything, and it suddenly started to downpour. Suddenly started pouring, and we had to get back to our hotel, which, as I said, was like a mile away, and we didn't have a car. So we were like, great, now what are we gonna do? Because we don't want to ruin wigs, because wigs, at least the one I had, was at least $60. It could have been a lot more than that, I don't even remember. But that was just the wig. I didn't want to ruin my costume because we had to get back to the hotel. And we weren't just going to sit there and wait for the rain to pass because it didn't look like it was going to stop anytime soon. But luckily, Otaku saved us that day because they had a little table just outside of the event hall and they were selling merchandise for the incoming event. And one of those happened to be an umbrella. I grabbed the last one for 20 bucks and the three of us slowly walked back to the convention center under this umbrella. It was a hilarious thing, but never happening again. Never happening again. Though, I have to say, you can be prepared, but you still have issues. Because I remember one time at Anime Next, I did watch the weather report, and I did have an umbrella, but what I didn't realize was it was a freaking tropical storm. Yeah. the remnants of a hurricane had come and hit Jersey, and it destroyed my umbrella. So the thing, you know, as they do, they fold the other way, and the rain was coming in all different directions, and I was wearing sandals because I was cosplaying as a ninja that time, and when I got back to my hotel, I was soaked. I was drenched. I was like, oh my god, never doing that again, not going out. So that's why I like to stay at the official hotel of a convention, so that way I don't have to do all this traveling miles out of my way just to get back to the hotel. At least with some of the events that I go to that are more farther away than where I live, my parents actually take me from place to place because I don't feel like parking the car and holding on to keys and all that stuff, because cosplaying and driving, not a good mix. Don't do it. So at least I have that, but at some of those closer conventions usually I go by myself, so you know, things happen. But I love conventions. Speaking of conventions that are pretty far away, there is the Golden Grail of conventions, and that is Anime Expo. Everyone knows in the United States, Anime Expo is hands down the largest convention you will ever go to. And at that point, I think it was like 2011, 2012, when I went to Expo. I had been to many conventions at that point. I was a veteran, I knew what to experience, but this blew my mind. And Expo is huge, I knew I had to pre-register, that was just a thing. And when I got there, close to maybe 2 hours prior to the event opening, I found out that the line went around the convention center, which was rather massive, 4 times. 4 times. The line went around. And I was there early. That was insane. By the time I got my badge, 6 hours had passed. 6 hours in the hot sun in California in the middle of the summer. Wow. I don't know how I did it. But that was a lesson of stamina, let me tell you. Lesson of stamina. So, convention lines, they don't bother me anymore because I know it could be a heck of a lot worse. But I absolutely love conventions. Another fun one was Otaku. And Otaku was in Baltimore at this point. They've recently moved to DC, and I'm going there in a couple of months, and I'm looking forward to checking that out. But in this story, they're in Baltimore. And I remember it was another hot day. It's always hot in Baltimore, always hot during Youmacon. And there are a lot of street vendors. They really live off conventions, so they were swarming the place. And there was this one guy who, on the very first day, which was a Thursday of pre-registration, I was like, this guy is going to be here every day. I'm going to lose my mind. Because what he was doing was he made up this rap song about ice cold water. And I couldn't stand it the first day. I was like, every time this guy passed, I was like, oh my god, I can't listen to this for 4 days. By the second day, everybody was going along with this guy. Everybody was doing the rap. And it was so much fun. Everybody loves the ice cold water guy. After you meet him the first time, you love him. You actually seek him out. You actually go and get stuff from him specifically because he's just that cool of a guy. And he has a Facebook page. He has a fan page on Facebook. How many street vendors do that? That's just crazy. So those are some memorable moments. As far as meeting people goes, you will meet lots of people at conventions. And I met a lot of friends through all these events. Anime Fest and Comic Con is one of the big places where I meet a lot of people, because at this point, I don't even remember what year it was. I have to go back and check. But I was in the Naruto fandom, and the Naruto fans, we are a very close family. I mean, we have pages where we all, you know, meet and talk and everything. I met a lot of people through that, and we just had so much fun. Just so much fun goofing around, you know, reenacting scenes from the show, and just, we all got really close. And then there was one point I met a cosplayer who was cosplaying as a Super Saiyan Goku, and I was Naruto. And let me tell you, never do that. Unless you have no problem about not moving anywhere. Because the two of us, we ended up meeting, we kind of hit it off, and we decided to walk the convention together. Well, every time we would stop, there'd be a swarm of people taking pictures of the two of us. And we would finally get rid of the swarm, pick up our stuff, we'd move like maybe 2 inches, and then another swarm of people came. And it was madness, we couldn't go anywhere. And that was hilarious. I loved that. That was so much fun, having all that attention. It was amazing. And I absolutely loved that. And then, of course, there's Youmacon. You guys remember Youmacon? At least most of you. Okay, we weren't there. We missed you. We wished you were there with us. But Youmacon, that was a blast. That was an absolute blast. Because you finally meet everybody that you've known for so long, with all these collaboration channels who have become so close. They're like family to you. And we just had a blast. I love that night when we were all together in my hotel room and we were playing Cards Against Humanity. That will forever be one of my favorite moments of conventions, was just that. I absolutely love that, and can't wait to do that again. So we gotta plan our convention sometime. Sorry, I'm not going to GeekCon this year. I'm already maxed out for the year. So maybe next year. Maybe. What else? So speaking about meeting people, I have had issues with trying to break that kind of barrier I put up between myself and celebrities. I know voice actors, they don't think of themselves like these big people who, you know, have all these egos and, you know, you can't really get close to them or whatever. But I have this self-esteem issue. I really do. And I get so anxious and nervous, and I just can't bring myself to go talk to these people. Even though they're super friendly. They're all super friendly and they're so much fun. When you really get to meet them, I just can't. I just can't. I really gotta work on that. But I have met 3 voice actors since I've been going to conventions. 3 of them. And they were always such great experiences. The first person I met was Greg Ayers, and that was because of Britt. We were doing Sustain the Industry videos at this point, and Britt is very good friends with Greg, and they were conversing about, you know, how we're all helping the industry, and somehow my name got dropped in the conversation. I forgot exactly how that all went down. And I mentioned that I was going to the convention where he was, and I was like, yeah, I'll go meet him and all this. And I was nervous the entire time. I was on the line. I almost chickened out and almost didn't go. But I got there and I was on the line and I'm like, I'm gonna go meet him. I'm going to go meet him. And I was like trying to relax the whole time. And I didn't have anything for him to sign, and I was like, you know what? I'll just give him my badge. Because that I'm gonna hold on to. Because I don't really hold on to the guides that they give out or anything like that. Those I usually get rid of. But the badge, I keep those. Those are my mementos of conventions. And I was like, alright, I'll have him sign the badge. I'll go meet him. I'll talk to him. You know, because I'm really passionate about the same thing he is. And, you know, I would like to meet him. And when I finally got there, all the nerves kind of went away. And, you know, we had a brief little conversation. And he thanked me a lot for everything I was doing. And, you know, it really meant a lot to get that from a voice actor. The second person I met was Vic Mignogna. And again, I had like this major crush on Vic for the longest time. He's one of my favorite voice actors by far. And he's very popular. And I love what Vic does because he knows how popular he is. He knows how the fans love to meet him and interact with him and everything. He goes out of his way to make sure that he can meet everybody. I remember at one time in Anime Next, I think he had like an unannounced meeting because there were so many people that were waiting to get autographs and talk to him in his actual time slot that he made time for everybody. And that was at Anime Next. Anime Next has so many great memories for me. that is my local convention. That's the one I've been to the most. That was my very first one. I haven't been to it in a while, but I can't wait to go back. And I'm interested to see what happens now that we've moved, because we've recently gotten so big we needed to change locations for a third time, and now we're going to Atlantic City, which kind of makes me nervous because, you know, Atlantic City, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in Atlantic City. It's our Vegas here in the Northeast. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. One of these days I'll definitely go. But I met Vic, and that was at Expo. And the lines were huge. They were huge. I mean, there were people ever going to meet him, and, you know, he was so sweet. I got a picture with him. And I just loved that. That was just a good moment. And, of course, we met, I think it was Tia Ballard at Youmacon. And yeah, I've met so many people, and it's just such a great thing to do, to go to conventions. So yeah, if you ever have the opportunity to go to one, definitely go, because they will just change everything for you. And it doesn't matter if it's a small convention or a large convention, they're amazing. Because I've been to all kinds. The smallest convention I ever went to was Springfest, and I think that was like in 2011. It was at this local college. It was not a big thing. It was like the first year they were doing it, and you know, it was an okay event. It wasn't one of my favorites to ever go to. There wasn't much going on, but we still had some great times. Because again, I went with my friends, and friends really make a convention experience even better. Even better. So there was that. The largest convention was Anime Expo. Again, that was an experience and a half, because at that point I've been to so many different conventions, the size shouldn't have bothered me, but on that Saturday, which is the biggest day at any convention, I was overwhelmed. I could not believe the amount of people that were in the main hall. Could not believe it. There was just so many people. I mean, you could barely walk. That's how many people were crammed into this convention center. And I was like, damn. This is Expo. This is what it's all about, people, right here. So, yeah. As I mentioned, I've also been out of the country to go to conventions. I've been to Canada several times for Anime North, which is by far one of my favorite conventions. It's a whole new world up there. It's a whole new world, and I love it. I love going up there, and I love experiencing that convention. It's so much fun. And the cosplays up there are beyond amazing. Beyond amazing. And I never get tired of going up there. It's just so fun. It really is a lot of fun. And I can't wait to go back again at some point. But anyway, I love conventions. I love going to different conventions. Every year I try to go to a different event, because there's only so much time I can actually take off from work these days. I pick one convention that I know is far away, and that's my major trip for the year. I'll go to other smaller conventions, ones that are closer to me, maybe a day or so, because, you know what, I love doing it. So probably in 2018 I'll be doing that a lot more, but I always pick one, so I can't wait. My goal in life is to go to every single convention at least once. Every single convention in the United States at least once. That is my goal. I would love to go to other conventions, like in other countries, because I've heard from my friends who've been to them that they're just as amazing. So, who knows? Maybe one day I'll go international. Far out, like Australia and New Zealand and all those other places. Because, yeah, why not? But, yeah. So, that is my experience in a nutshell. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have we ever run into each other at conventions? I know there's some people who watch my videos who I have actually seen at conventions, and that's just great. I love that when they're like, hey, you're that person from YouTube and stuff like that. That's always cool too, to know that people actually watch conventions, watch you, and go to conventions with you. It's so much fun. So, yeah, that's all I'm going to say about conventions. Again, I could probably go on for hours about it. Not gonna do that. So let me know what your favorite memories are of conventions in the comment section below. And if there is a convention that you go to that you absolutely adore and that you would recommend to other people, let me know about that too. So maybe I'll go to that convention in the future. So that's it for me this week. I will see you guys next week with our next topic, and Kay, we will see you tomorrow. Have a great one, guys.